Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
In the podcasting life, they must fight to survive. Shackled by the chains of the past. They're the biggest of geeks, cause they watch every week. Subscribe to see if they can last. Go, go, Ranger Danger. We can't ever stop. Go, go, Ranger Danger. We will podcast till we drop. Probably forever. Yeah, whatever. Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger Dino Charge.
Hello there. My name is Matt. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Ranger Danger Dino Charge podcast. Michael, you are too, as I believe it.
Yep, that's both of us.
Fantastic.
Why are we doing fancy formal voice?
Oh, yeah? This is just how I speak normally. I put on a voice for the podcast.
Really?
No.
Because do you also put on that voice for every interaction that I have with you?
Yeah, look, I'm a method podcaster, Michael.
Right.
So today we should be watching episode 802 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It is entitled Rise of a Ranger.
Yep.
So, Michael, who do you believe will be rising?
A ranger.
Ah, perfect. Correct answer. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. No, seriously, though.
I know.
Oh, why do you know?
Because the Power Rangers Twitter and Facebook is really fucking terrible at secrets.
I feel like the solution to that is to stop looking at it.
Yeah, but the problem is when they tweet like, hey, there's new Power Rangers in the movie, I feel a responsibility to share that with people.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
So, well, here's the thing. I know that it's the Graphite Ranger.
Oh, why would you tell me?
Well, didn't you know that?
No.
I thought we discussed that last week.
No.
I'm sure we discussed that.
No. Why would you do that?
I'm sure that we discussed that, Matt. I'm sure we talked last week about how it was going to be the Graphite Ranger and it would be good for whichever one of us has the Graphite Ranger.
All right.
I'm sure we had that discussion.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I'm not certain I know who it is.
Well, that's something, at least.
Yeah, that's right. You might get some Fantasy Autumn points this week, Matt.
Yes,
Take that as some sort of consolation.
That'll have to be it, yeah. Do we have any Power Rangers related news this week?
We
Maybe
do,
something you picked up from the Power Rangers Twitter or Facebook?
Yeah, 3 new Power Rangers for our Power Rangers movie.
Well, it's not our movie, per se.
It's everyone's movie, Matt.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was the red...
Black and blue.
That was,
yes.
yeah. So that just leaves the Yellow Ranger, really.
It does. Now, the report I heard was that the Yellow Ranger was last to be cast. Do you remember some casting sides were out a couple of weeks ago?
That was more than a few weeks, but yeah.
No. Some more recent casting sides had come out in the past couple of weeks. We might not have talked about it on the podcast.
Right.
My understanding is that those were specifically for the role of the Yellow Ranger, and that was the one they were having the most trouble filling or hadn't filled yet.
Got it.
So, at least at a couple of weeks ago, they didn't have a person set in stone.
Yep. Interesting. So none of the names are names you'd recognise?
No, our new Red and Black Rangers haven't really been in anything. Our new Red Ranger is Australian.
Yay!
Which is
Represent.
nice. The new Blue Ranger, who is African American,
yes,
has been in a couple of films and was in Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, which
sure,
got
I've heard of that.
Excellent reviews this year. So that's a good sign.
That's something, yeah.
So, I mean, I imagine we'll see a Yellow Ranger announcement soon-ish, probably. And then maybe bad guys.
Yeah, villains would be the logical next step, right?
Are you still convinced that they're not Jason and Tommy and Kimberly and Billy and all of that?
Not convinced.
Right.
But I certainly think there's a strong possibility. Now, I know the guy who's playing the Blue Ranger said on... No, sorry, the Black Ranger.
Yes.
Said on Twitter that he's playing Zach T.
Yes.
Which would seem to confirm that. But I think that's also something they'd likely do to throw people off.
Yes, I mean, we can't really take it as evidence either way.
No.
He could be telling the truth and he is playing Zach.
Yeah.
Or he could just be lying because that's what they told him to do because they want to keep it a secret.
I'm curious how much they're going to try and replicate those characters if they go down that route. Like, is it a in-name only thing? Like, is Billy going to be afraid of fish?
God, I hope that's the one piece of characterization that they keep. It's like, Billy is now super cool and in with the chicks and he rides a skateboard and everyone loves him, but he's still afraid of fish.
Well, it's the core of the character,
Yeah,
Michael.
I've always said that is the most important thing about Billy.
Yep, I think so.
Oh man, that would be incredible. Yeah, I mean, look, they've always been pretty simple characters.
Yes.
I don't think it's too much work to, keep Billy as the nerdy one, while also make him a three-dimensional character with wants and needs and feelings and stuff.
Like the feeling that he doesn't like fish.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to get past that feeling. I think that
He needs to get past that feeling. That's the point.
So, in your head, if they're not Jason and Billy and all of that,
Yep.
is there still Zordon and Rita?
I don't think so.
Or is it... So it's not like a partial reboot. It's a complete new team of Power Rangers.
Maybe it's like Rita and Lord Zed's son or something
Yeah,
like that
sure.
to tie it in. But yeah, no, I don't think it would be Zordon and Rita. Because if you're not going to use those characters,
Yeah.
I don't see the point in also like throwing out the characters but keeping the villains. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yep.
I think you either do it or you don't do it. Guess we'll find out.
I mean, I'd say if the next one to go up is starring this person as Zordon,
Yes.
that's a pretty big kind of... But then again, it's not impossible for them to go, we're picking up at the... after Mighty Morphin, but ignoring all the other seasons.
Or they just build a machine that reconstitutes Zordon. Alpha 7 that spent the last 20 years finding all the atomized bits of Zordon around the universe, like atom by atom, and reconstructing him. So, until we see the movie, really, it's going to be hard to know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when we see a trailer...
Yeah, that'll help.
If they come out in suits that look absolutely nothing like the Mighty Morphin suits... Because why would you do that and then also do Mighty Morphin?
I think if we see, the Tyrannosaurus Rex Zord,
Yep.
that's when it's okay, it is specifically Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
But don't know.
It's interesting. I like having absolutely no idea.
Yeah. It's a bit terrifying, but exciting.
Oh, it's terrifying because this could still be an absolute disaster.
I feel like I hate to be cynical, but I feel like that is more likely than the other thing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, just because we don't know anything.
There's no one involved at this stage that I'm yeah, they're clever creatively.
Yeah, but who could it be? The people who wrote the script are pretty good.
That is true. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, not that a good script, even if it's the best Power Rangers script you could write, is any guarantee that we get a good Power Rangers movie.
No.
But, I mean, I think it's a good script. I don't know enough about the director to make a judgment.
Yeah.
His previous film was apparently not great, but it's hard to hold one movie against a director.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah, we need to wait for more data, I think.
It's this weird feeling where even with Power Rangers, you've kind of got an idea of what's going to happen.
Yep.
Just because there's already been a Japanese show that someone has seen all of.
Yes.
But they could do anything in this movie.
Yeah. And I'll be very interested to see how much they feel beholden to and how much they don't. They pretty much have to have giant robots, right? You think that would be guaranteed.
I think so, yes.
But even that, if they didn't do it, or they did some sort of weird approximation of it, that would not be... it would be dumb, but it wouldn't be unprecedented in dumbness. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like they've got to have giant robots, right?
You'd think.
It feels like when we've had people on this podcast who don't remember anything about Power Rangers, the thing they remember is that they have giant robots.
Absolutely. That's the thing about Power Rangers.
And I mean, let's be honest, it's the best thing about Power Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? That is true for me in the early seasons of watching.
Yes.
In Dino Charge,
It's not necessarily true.
Not really, no.
The giant robot isn't that great.
and it's like CGI, and it's always de-emphasized in the episode.
Yep.
I get more out of the characters, weirdly. Like, I feel kind of dirty saying that, but I prefer the characters to the giant robots.
Yeah, I mean, given just in terms of percentages, maybe 20% of an episode is giant robots.
I would say considerably less.
You know, I'd much rather that the other 80% is the part that I like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unlike several episodes of Mighty Morphin we've seen, where the only redeeming factor is that two dudes in giant monster suits punch each other.
It's a pretty good redeeming factor, though, when they do it right.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
All right, well, let's sort of see if the giant robot battles redeem themselves this week.
Yeah, Rising of Rangers.
What was that?
That's what this episode's called.
Rising of Rangers?
Rising of Rangers.
Okay.
Batman v Superman. Rising of Justice Rangers.
Dawn of Rising Rangers.
Dawn of Justice Rising.
All right, we're going to go watch Rise of a Ranger.
Rising Ranger Dawn.
And we'll
Justice.
be back soon.
Super. Bat.
Ranger Danger, Ranger Danger.
And we're back. That was quite a thing that happened.
It was funny that we had that whole conversation about them not necessarily needing to have giant robots, and this one barely had any giant. Like, it had medium-sized robots,
Yes.
and small robots,
Yes.
but it didn't have giant robots.
Had a lot more small robot than big robot.
Yeah. Were you expecting this one to have a tiny robot?
No.
I mean, not like a tiny robot, but a person-sized robot.
For Power Rangers, it was a tiny robot.
Yes.
It was surprising on many levels, this episode.
Yeah. Do you want to take it from the top?
Yeah. So it ends with a giant explosion in a quarry, but not the usual sort.
Yep.
This explosion actually removes rock from the rock wall.
Yeah, it's actually being done to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may be the first time we've seen a quarry on Power Rangers used for its intended purpose,
As a quarry, yeah.
As a quarry,
That's
just-
probably true.
despite like 500 appearances. So
Yeah.
there's a quarry,
Yep.
and as the quarrying is happening,
Yep.
a mysterious object is freed from the rubble.
Yeah, there's some, like, mining discovery something happening.
It's a body.
It's not a body. This isn't the opening of an episode of, like, Castle.
It is a body.
It's not. It's a dinosaur body.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
That's racist.
So you wouldn't investigate a dead dinosaur on Law and Order.
That's not how I like define my medical terms.
Well, it should be. It should be.
All right. So
So someone finds a dinosaur fossil.
yes.
And the guy who's there, I hesitate to call him the foreman because he appears to actually just be the only person there. He says...
Aren't you the foreman by default in that case?
He says, this must be the one. And there's a glow and... Then
Dun,
we're
dun, dun.
all of a sudden at a castle.
Yeah. Which, like, if I have to all of a sudden be somewhere, it's at a castle.
Sure, it's Prince Philip.
Yay! Prince Philip's back. I like
Matt,
that guy.
What is Prince Philip doing?
He's fighting a robot.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
He's fighting a robot.
Even as far as this show goes, that is an insane introduction to a character.
Well, it's not like his introduction, but yeah.
In an episode.
Sure.
For him to just be, oh, what's Prince Philip doing? Oh, he's just fighting his fighting robot that one of his bodyguards is controlling.
It works so well, though.
Yeah.
Because like he's an obscenely rich guy who wants to be a Power Ranger. Of course, he'd get a fancy robot to teach him how to fight.
Yeah. And so the impression that we get is that he wants to be able to, like, impress the Power Rangers the next time he bumps into them.
Yep.
And so he's started teaching himself to fight and...
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But then the Energem arrives.
Yeah.
Hey.
It turns out that there are several ways to discover an Energem. It
Yep.
can be given to you by a kindly Maori woman.
Yep.
You can go spelunking looking for your dad.
Yep.
You can just find it in the back of a truck.
Yep.
You can
Fall off a cliff.
fall off a cliff.
Yep.
You can just find it one day while you're out pretending to sword fight.
Yep.
Or you can pay other people to find it for you.
Yeah, this is kind of like Willy Wonka, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit of a cheat. The only reason it's not a cheat is the rest of the events of the episode.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
right?
I think that he earns it
Yes.
quite literally in the end. So I'm okay with it.
So he tells everyone else to leave.
Yep.
And he goes, yep, that's an Energem. And then he tries to bond to it, and nothing seems to happen. And so he holds it out in front of him, and he yells, energize.
Unleash the power first, I think.
No, energize is first.
Oh, okay.
And nothing happens. And then he tries unleash the power.
Nothing.
Nothing. He's not...
That'd be a heartbreaking moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you were training for months to become a Power Ranger, and then an Energem finds its way to you, and you're like, oh, this is my dream moment. The moment I've been waiting for is here. Let's do it. It's morphing time. Oh, wait, no, it's not morphing time.
Did he specifically have a team looking for fossils? If they were looking for fossils, is dynamiting a quarry the way to go about it? Or is there just a general Xandar-wide order to, like, if you see a glowing gem, bring it to the prince?
Yeah, I don't know, because that looked like a quarry.
Yes.
Right? That wasn't an archaeological
No.
site. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But if you're after the Energem, I don't know, but I assume that they're indestructible.
I mean, you'd have to imagine so.
So if
they
you just-
make people immortal,
Yep.
so it'd be weird if they could get destroyed.
I keep forgetting that about
Right,
the
it's
show.
a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a genuinely odd part of that really only serves to explain why we've got Koda. And even then, they could have just Captain America'd him.
Yeah, quite easily. It's bizarre too because I guess you have to earn the Energem by being a good person or whatever.
Yes.
But there's a lot of motivation for people to just try and find one to become immortal.
Yep.
That they don't ever lean on.
Outside the giant robot and superpowers that it gives you,
Yeah.
yes, the ability to have one and not ever die.
Yeah. Yeah, because Sledge is always going on about how, like, it would, give him power and a lot of money and stuff. It's like, yeah, but also, it would give you immortality.
Although, he is millions of years old.
That's
He
true.
may be immortal.
Maybe he already has an Energem.
Now, see, that would actually be a good twist.
Yeah.
Right? If, like, the end of the season, they're trying to find the last Energem, and Sledge is like, fuck you, bitches.
Yeah, I actually got one.
Yeah.
Took me 10 million years.
Or he's just always had it.
Yeah.
He just somehow got it.
He didn't realise what it was. He's never seen one.
Yeah. It's not until he was, like, chatting with Fury, he was like, so these Energems that we're trying to get,
Yep.
what do they look like?
Yeah.
And Fury's like, they're, I guess, the size of a battery, or...
They look a lot like your paperweight.
We're in space, so they're about the size of, like, a space battery.
Yep.
And they've got, like, metal caps and Sledge is like, oh, you mean one of these? Yeah, I've had this for, like, 20 million years.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that's good?
I've always wondered what it was for.
Yeah. I like how it shines.
He doesn't have any mirrors on the ship, so he tries to use the reflective surfaces as a tiny mirror.
Oh, boy. So, speaking of space and Fury...
Fury's back.
Yeah, he's given the shitty jobs on board the ship.
Yep.
He's mopping the prison floors, I guess. I'm surprised they have a mop in space.
I mean, they have floors in space.
Yeah,
so-
but I don't know, the logistics, like, where does the water come from to mop?
Well, they have to send Fury down to, like, get it in a bucket.
See, I was imagining that there was some sort of water monster up there. That
He
they'd be
just
like,
produces water.
yeah, he's just like...
he doesn't even produce water. They just get the mop and stick it into him.
Oh, boy.
That's mean.
Yeah. All right, so Poisandra comes in and she's
Yeah.
all like, oh, you got to mop it right this time. And she's like, fuck you, bitch, just because you...
To be fair,
Yeah.
he's not unwarranted in that attitude towards Poisandra.
No, he's not. She has also not killed any Power Rangers.
Yes.
So she's fucking around.
Yep.
And doesn't notice the maximum security tentacle monster, who at this point must be a thing, right?
Yeah, if they don't do something with this now, it's going to shit me off a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't do 2 episodes.
2 times is one more than is just a throwaway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Fury like pulls a wire off the wall and electrocutes the monster. I feel like that's probably an important wire.
I also feel like it would probably electrocute Poisandra.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have any exposed flesh, maybe.
Doesn't she?
I
Isn't she
don't-
all exposed flesh?
It's hard to tell on this show.
Yeah.
Like,
Where does flesh start and dress begin?
you know how Sledge is like big metal armor,
Yeah.
but then there's clearly like a green thing underneath. Is he green? Is he wearing a green like bodysuit as well as the armor?
I like to think that he's the big metal thing, and he has to very awkwardly put on the green stuff, like over the top.
Stuff it inside his like
Yeah.
automated gauntlets and stuff.
That's how alien clothes work. They go on the inside.
So, because Fury saved Poisandra,
Yes.
he gets another shot to defeat the Power Rangers,
Yeah.
which I guess makes sense.
I mean, in so much as that they needed a reason to bring Fury back for it, I guess.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know.
So we're at the Dinosaur Museum now,
Yeah.
and some genuine New Zealanders are doing some,
Genuine New Zealanders, TM.
they're doing some genuine New Zealand cultural displays.
Yes.
Um,
Heritage cultural displays. They're
yeah,
they're
not like talking about fish and chips. And,
Yeah.
yeah, actual like cultural stuff. Yeah. One of them is pretty clearly related to Chase.
Yes.
It's his sister, Chloe.
It's like you say pretty clearly related to Chase because of the like facial expressions on his face.
Yes.
But that's almost true of Koda. He's getting so into it too that you'd have, like he has a similar reaction. It's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, everyone gets excited seeing a haka.
I think Koda gets excited by everything.
That is true. There's a couple of points in this episode where he's basically just a puppy.
Yes. He's the best.
It's great. It's great. He is the best. So yeah, Chloe is Chase's little sister.
Yep.
And I don't quite know why the Amber Beach Dinosaur Museum is hosting a New Zealand cultural display, but I can justify it enough in my head.
Oh yeah, it's like it's a shitty little dinosaur museum in the middle of nowhere, and they do what they can to get people in.
You know, like maybe that's the biggest venue in Amber Beach, and so like the New Zealand embassy has rented out the space or something. There's like
Or their newest fossil is one from New Zealand, and to celebrate, we've got in blah blah blah. blah.
yeah, look, it's nonsense,
Yeah.
but it's close enough to things that actually happen that I'm willing to give that one a pass.
Yeah.
So she's not here for long. I guess they couldn't spend that much money on whatever this is. They've got to like come out, do the haka, get on a plane, go home.
Yep.
But so she's into skateboarding as well, and she's all like, Chase, let's go skateboarding. Chase can't go skateboarding, man.
This is a very sad episode. Many times.
Yeah.
This is the first time when Chase has to be like, yeah, I actually love you despite being a rascal, and I really want to spend time with you. Oh wait, no, I have to abandon you to go beat up monsters.
Yeah, it's a nice moment for Chase as well, I think. Like, we've seen him be an asshole, and we've seen him redeem himself as an asshole.
Yeah.
But it's just a nice additional facet of his character that he does have a sister who he does genuinely care about.
Yeah, and this isn't like him overcoming his arseholeness. This is one situation where he is just nice all the time.
Yeah.
And that's nice to see.
Yeah, it's good. Chase has to go be a Power Ranger because Ivan has literally just run into Fury.
Yeah, on accident in
Yeah.
the park or something.
At the top of like a parking structure.
That's right, yeah.
I guess
In the middle of Auckland somewhere.
who has any idea?
I mean, Amber Beach.
So like Ivan morphs straight away, and we're straight into this fight.
Yeah, he runs at Fury and morphs in the process, and by the end of the run, he's like swinging his sword at Fury.
This episode has a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it mismanages it in a way
No,
a lot
it's
of
just-
episodes have.
It's done enough world building now
Yeah.
that it can just have a little bit of everything going on and have it feel right.
Yeah.
Like, I'd forgotten temporarily that Ivan and Fury had a rivalry.
Yeah.
But, like, of course they do. And, of course, they have an epic sword fight about it.
Yeah.
Like, and it just feels right.
And it's a pretty good sword fight.
It is a pretty good sword fight.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of scenes in this episode that are like genuinely sad
Yeah.
in the right way, and there's a lot of moments in this episode that are intense and make you sort of almost gasp.
Yeah.
You know, and that's great.
Yeah. So at the end of this sword fight, they both just go off the edge of this building.
Yeah,
Holy shit! What is this show? This show is crazy.
it's like the show has been set. Not just Dino Charge, but Power Rangers in general has been set at like 4 on the dial.
Yeah.
And then this week they just cranked it up to 10. They're like,
Yeah.
what would happen if we just fucking went for it?
What would happen if we want Ivan to start fighting Fury?
Yeah.
Like, imagine that scene in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The Rangers are walking through the park. We spend like 3 minutes with Tommy talking to someone else. Then Goldar shows up. They fight some putties.
You forget
Tommy
the like
gets to-
Goldar sort of posturing for a few minutes.
Tommy gets to fight Goldar. In this, cut to the scene, less than 10 seconds later, there are two swords clanging against each other.
Yeah. And then 30 seconds later, they're off a building.
Yeah, and all of the other Power Rangers show up.
Yep. And the thing is, after this, it doesn't step on the brakes at all. It just keeps going at this pace.
No,
it's great.
So, Fury summons some Viveks, which is go-to move when you're faced with 6 people.
Yep.
The Power Rangers summon a fighting robot.
Well, they don't. But
He
one
just
appears
shows up.
anyway.
He just shows up. Were you expecting that to happen?
No, definitely not.
When they said Prince Philip has got a fighting robot,
Yep.
at the bottom of my list of things that were going to happen this week was, and the fighting robot fights alongside the Power Rangers.
Yeah, especially because Prince Philip isn't in that scene before the robot turns
No.
up. The robot just waltzes in and starts wailing onto Vivek as
Here's
best
the
it
thing.
can.
If Prince Philip had shown up and started fighting,
Yep.
that would have been like, oh yeah, I'm expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
He shows up with his fighting robot.
Yep.
How many times can I say fighting robot this week? He's got a fighting robot.
And he controls it with controls that look like the controller you have for your remote control car.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got 2 joysticks and maybe a button.
Yeah.
And it can fight alongside the Power Rangers.
Not well, but enough to make you think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so look, they all fight. The robot is not the best.
No.
It falls over at one stage onto its back. It's a little sad. It's a little adorable.
it is both of those things,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Fury runs away. He needs a new plan. He can't fail Sledge again. He's right. That would be pretty rough.
That would be rough.
So Chase is. So they beat all the Viveks. It's
Handily.
it's a perfectly one. It's just a fight.
Yeah.
It happens. Chase runs away. He's got to go. The robot keeps erroring, and Prince Philip shows up, and he's like, "Hey, it's my robot. Wasn't my robot cool?" And they're like, "Actually, kind of a pain in the ass."
I feel so bad for Prince Philip. He's
Yeah.
he just wants to help, and he gets knocked down a lot this episode, emotionally and physically.
And I would feel bad, except that the next moment is an incredible comedy beat where the camera pulls back and 4 Viveks are just picking up the fighting robot and running away with
Yeah,
it.
it's pretty great. Although it's about the moment where I genuinely felt bad that the robot was being taken.
Yeah, right?
You know, I was emotionally invested in that fucking robot.
This robot, whenever it fights, it says, attacking Viveks.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I love it. Yeah, so the Viveks take it and they run after him, but it's gone.
Yeah, and Prince Philip goes, "They're leaving with my robot," which is all of it is great.
And so he says, it's okay. They can't control it without the remote.
Yeah.
And I think Tyler says Fury can be pretty clever, which is not supported by any of the facts we've seen so far.
He's not dumb like Goldar was dumb.
No, but he's not
Clever.
particularly clever.
No, Wrench is though.
Yeah, which is why he's reprogrammed the robot.
Yeah.
Basically, Philip says, it's all right, they can't control it without my remote control. And the next scene is Wrench going, well, I hacked it so we don't need the remote control.
I think they missed a good comedy beat there. It really should have
just
been
cut that straight
smash cut
away.
it, have it be Philip going, they would be able to hack the controls, and smash cut to Wrench, I've hacked the controls!
Yeah, that would have been good. So he's programmed it to target the Rangers.
Yes.
And to test it, Matt, how does he test it?
Somebody just photoshopped a wanted poster
Yeah.
with Ivan's face on it.
Yep.
And then they attach the wanted poster with Ivan's face to the chest of a
Now,
Viveks.
we've seen wanted posters on the ship before.
Yeah.
Right? He's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Potentially they have, bounty posters and stuff. But
Except they're not the ones, bounty hunters aren't the one that produce wanted posters.
no, so that's the thing, right? Ivan hasn't been a known factor in the universe for 800 years.
Yeah.
And before then, as cool as he is, he was just like a human knight.
Yeah.
So where has this bounty poster come from in the past 3 weeks?
I mean, I feel like the obvious answer is they just had a wanted poster and they printed out of it a picture of Ivan's face.
Where did they get a picture of
They
Ivan's
just
face?
blue-tacked it. Well, it was probably on the local news at some point.
Was it in the Power Rangers press release that they have on their
They
website?
send out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got press photos.
Yeah.
So the robot just lasers this Viveks dead center in the chest. I have a question though.
Yeah.
It knocks down the Viveks. It doesn't kill the Vivix.
Because nothing can kill a Vivix, is what we're learning. They're actually indestructible, which no one seems to mention.
It's just like, so okay, if it's not going to kill a Vivix, is it going to kill a Power Ranger?
No.
Or have you just invented a monster, by which I mean a robot,
Yeah.
that can just inconvenience the Power Rangers a little?
I mean, that's true of all of them.
I guess.
But, like, I think I miss Z parties where you punch their stupid thing on the chest and they explode.
Yeah.
Because Vivix never die.
No.
And I
They
don't...
very rarely get destroyed.
I think the first episode was the last time it happened.
I feel like very occasionally the Rangers get out their Dino Steel weapons
Yeah.
and use them to destroy Vivix, but it's only ever like in clips that we've already seen that are just to wrap up that stage of the fight and move on to the next thing.
And I feel like, too, they use their weapons and there's an explosion and the implication is that the Vivix have died.
We definitely don't like watch Vivix die.
But also, Vivix get caught in explosions a lot of times and then just sort of get knocked away and get up
Yep.
again. So I'm not confident that they ever get destroyed. I feel like they just get knocked around.
Maybe they don't.
That's a weird thing to consider.
It really is. So back on Earth, Prince Philip is chatting to Koda.
Yeah, this is a great scene.
He says that's what he came to Amber Beach for. Do they not have phones in Xandar?
I also don't understand why
Koda,
specifically.
right? Because of all the Power Rangers, he's got a specific connection to Ivan,
Yeah.
in that Ivan is a knight who is technically sworn to him.
Yeah.
He got along with everyone.
Yeah.
Koda is difficult to communicate with.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of was that Koda is a bit thick.
And is more likely to give something away.
Yeah, or he was for whatever reason was hoping that Koda wouldn't mention it to anyone.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's not really...
Because, like, if he starts talking to Tyler about... So, say someone found an Energem and couldn't get it to activate. Tyler's going to go, guys, I think Philip might have found an Energem.
Yeah.
But even then, he wants to be a Power Ranger. There's no implication that he wants to get those powers and keep them secret.
No, but he does get called out by Tyler in the episode for not mentioning it straight away. And he is a bit guilty. Like, he feels bad about that.
Yeah, it's a weird...
Yeah.
But anyway, this scene is so adorable that I'm willing to put most of that aside. Because Prince Philip is like, okay, can we, let's talk about how'd you find your Energem and what's that? A girl comes up and asks Prince Philip for his autograph. It looks like, and I'd have to go back and look, it looks like the Power Rangers logo is on the photo.
Oh, really?
I mean, I want to say that that's not what they did.
Yeah.
Because surely not. But I have to freeze frame. It just looks like in the bottom right corner is a logo because they printed their press photo of him.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
my headcanon for this was that he was so excited about becoming a Power Ranger.
He got Power Rangers headshots done.
He produced his own Power Rangers headshots and then just distributed them.
You can buy them on his website. They're like
Yeah.
$5 and he'll sign them. But so she comes up. His bodyguards try and hold her off a bit, but he's like, no, it's fine. I'll sign the thing. And she says, did she say, you're so cute?
Yeah.
He's not an unattractive man.
No. He's a handsome fellow.
Yeah. She runs away. Koda waves.
It's hard. The look at his face when he waves is like it's like he didn't properly understand what was going on.
No.
But he's just happy to have people interacting with
He
him.
doesn't know what an autograph is. He doesn't know why someone would want one. But someone new just came up and said hi, so give him a wave.
Yeah. What a hug him.
So Prince Philip asks about, how did your Energem bond with you? And Koda's like, well, it just did, and I proved that I had heart. And Philip goes, right, how do you prove that you have heart to a rock?
Yeah, I think the line is, how does one prove that to a gem? It's pretty good.
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
That's a very good question. And the only answer Koda can give is Energem. Mysterious. And he does a little mysterious
is a
hand
good
action.
answer to the good question, This is a great scene.
Oh, it's good. So Prince Philip's decided that he needs to prove his worth.
Yes.
And so he ships some new fossils to the Amber Beach Dinosaur Museum, which makes sense because he was digging them up anyway. Yeah. He's donating to charities. He's giving new wheelchairs to the hospital.
Opening a playground for children.
Yeah.
This little montage went on a lot longer than I thought it would. But it's cool.
You know what I like about it?
Yeah.
I like that it justifies potentially that the only way to do good in the Power Rangers universe is not to be a Power Ranger.
Yes.
Like, you can do good things for the world without being able to turn into a superhero and fight giant monsters.
Yep.
It's a shame that none of these will give him Power Ranger powers, and fighting a monster will.
Yep.
But, you know, the reason that he kind of...
Yeah, but like it's not fighting a monster.
Yeah. The reason that he changes as a person and becomes a better person and does that without punching a monster in the face.
Yep.
And then he gets to punch a monster in the face later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So his aide, who I think is called Margaret, who has an incredibly strong New Zealand accent.
Yes.
She brings him a sack full of thank you letters to prove that, you know, like, the money actually did go to Amber Beach.
He should fire Margaret.
Why?
Because he got some mail.
Yeah.
It came in a big bag. Fine.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Mail does not come in big bags.
Maybe...
Mail has not come in big bags in a very long time.
It's Xandar, Michael. They're a bit behind.
So, do you imagine Xandar as a slightly behind, like, Eastern European country?
Yes.
Is that what it is in your head?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, it's Latveria from Marvel Comics.
Right. And so Prince Philip is Doctor Doom, but benevolent. And
yes.
Yeah, that's what it is in my head. I think it's just the accent.
Possibly.
Because we haven't seen any of Xandar.
But they had a strong culture of knights once upon a time.
That's true.
So
that does frame it, yeah.
That's Europe somewhere, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
And if it's Europe and tiny nation...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Margaret brings in this big bag of mail, and instead of giving it to Prince Philip or sorting the mail... picks it up over the desk and just dumps it all over him and the desk.
I like to think that Margaret doesn't always... You know, Prince Philip tries his best.
Yeah.
And he's genuinely been getting a lot better lately. But there was a time when Prince Philip was a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah.
And Margaret's been there for a long time. And any just little chance she gets to rub it in, she'll be like, here, have your mail, Prince. Oh, is that not how mail's meant to go? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm from New Zealand. We have it in bags over there.
Fire Margaret.
But then she'll get deported from Xandar.
You're back to New Zealand.
Yeah. It's a horrible place there, Matt.
Why are we being really mean to New Zealand?
We have to be mean to New Zealand. That's our job as Australians.
But their country is so beautiful.
Yeah, but it's not as good as ours.
Isn't it?
That's the cultural position we are required to take. And they're not good at cricket.
I'm not good at cricket.
Yeah, no. We're good at cricket.
All right.
This is how it works, Matt.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, that's right. So Prince Philip basically... Oh, sorry, before that, we're at the skate park.
Yes.
And Chase has finally found some time to skate with Chloe.
Yep.
Except he hasn't.
Yeah. My heart's breaking again.
Yeah. He, gets 30 seconds into teaching her how to put her feet on the skateboard. And then his phone rings. And they need him. I'm going to skip ahead.
Yep.
They don't need him.
They definitely don't need him. At all.
As far as they know, Prince Philip wants to chat.
Yep. And also... he barely features in the fight that does actually occur anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So...
he wasn't, crucial.
I feel like they need some better HR policies.
I think the better way to structure this, and also the more complicated way, so I understand why you wouldn't do that, would be the Rangers are chatting to Prince Philip, they get into the fight that happens, now they need Chase.
Yep.
But... structurally that puts that scene into the middle of another scene, and it just...
And I also think it puts more narrative emphasis on the need to fulfill that promise.
Yes.
It would be like, okay, we'll need Chase to get out his sword, which doesn't happen at all.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's sad. And she looks sad.
Yeah,
I
she's
felt
got a
sad.
present for him as well.
Yeah. And she chases after him with the present. My heart. It hurts.
So they're all just at a park.
Yep.
Prince Philip admits what's going on. He found the Energem. He hoped it would bond with him. He hasn't been able to get it to work. He offers it to Tyler and he says, look, I'm clearly not worthy. You guys find someone who is. It's yours.
Yep.
It's a classy move.
It is a classy move.
As soon as he gives it to Tyler, everything explodes.
And not in the usual Power Ranger sort of way.
No, everything explodes like right in front of them.
Everything explodes in like a Baghdad sort of way. You know?
Like, and there's an explosion on the table that they're sitting
That's
at.
what I mean. It's like there's a bomb on the table.
It's crazy. So it's Fury and some spike balls.
Yeah, spike balls are back again.
Yeah.
I just want to sit someone down and ask them about spike balls. What is the deal with spike balls?
I think they're like Lieutenant Vivixes.
But they don't ever seem to have any leadership capacity.
No, but they're a little stronger.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it takes Koda and Ivan to fight one.
Yeah, I understand that part. Just like, where did they come from? Why did they come from? Why do they have spiky balls?
All these questions and more will not be answered.
Never.
Yeah, so it's Fury, some spike balls, and the robot.
Yeah, who's now like a Terminator, basically.
And a ton of Vivix. So Philip's bodyguards rush him away.
Yep.
They're not great bodyguards.
They're pretty shitty. He has bad stuff.
Yeah, he really does.
What we're learning.
Yeah, so they're running away. This is a good fight.
Yes,
it's an unmorphed fight. It's a well-shot fight. Everyone does cool stuff.
And it also, the shaky cam in it
Yep.
isn't like the bad so shaky cam, and genuinely gives you a feeling of chaos in this fight. It works really well.
Like, there's one really nice bit where Chase, steadies himself,
Yeah.
shoots at the robot shoots back, and the camera's already moving away.
Yeah.
It's
really good.
It's good. These guys fight unmorphed really well too.
Yep.
It looks like Ivan's coat is now officially his outfit.
Yes, which I'm down for.
Yeah, it's a good coat.
Yep.
So Chloe shows up.
Oh no!
Yeah, she had run after Chase, and I guess followed him very well.
She chased Chase.
Are you proud?
Yep.
Yeah, good. I hope you're not. So she nearly gets fucking exploded.
Yeah, this is another scene.
There's a scene that very well could be, oh, Chloe is dead now.
Yeah. It really does make it look like she's in terrible mortal danger.
Yeah.
Which is an impressive feat for this show where I know that no one is ever in terrible mortal
There's
danger.
no way this show is going to kill a 7-year-old.
No. But for a second, because they do it so well, you're kind of, set up for maybe that can happen.
So she nearly gets exploded. The robot starts going after her.
Yeah.
And she, hides behind a fountain. But everyone's struggling. No one can really get to her to rescue her.
Chase is locked down by Vivix.
Yeah. So what happens, Matt?
We get our first ever fight between minions and a dude in a three-piece suit.
We do. And it's good.
Can you imagine how hard that would be?
Yeah, there's a reason that it's only really like a punch and a kick.
Yeah.
Because that is not a suit designed for acrobatics.
No. You don't go to yoga in that thing.
No.
But yeah, so the prince
Yep.
launches into battle and goes ham on some dudes in his suit. And it's awesome.
Which is particularly impressive because he hasn't bonded to an energem.
Yeah.
Like, the other Power Rangers are super strong.
Yep.
He's just punching like a regular dude.
Yeah. But he's used to punching robots, so...
Who isn't? So he runs in, he grabs Chloe, and he just runs her away to safety.
Yep.
And Chase is like, thanks, mate.
I owe you one.
Why can we not do the accent? It's basically our accent.
Yeah. I think that's why.
That's why we're trying too hard?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay, so Chloe, Chase says to her, look, there's two, men in suits over there. They've got guns. Go with them. They'll keep you safe. She's going to have so many questions.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
Yep.
What just happened? Why did a robot try to kill me? Why is my brother still here fighting them? Why has he got a laser gun?
Yeah, I think that was pretty high on the list. Why does he have a space gun?
Yeah.
And, we see her later acting like it's no big deal.
Yeah. Whatever, I guess maybe all of New Zealand is like that in the Power Rangers universe.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, it's weird that I haven't seen more of these, to be honest.
Yeah.
She's
like, don't worry about bringing your space gun, I've got mine.
So, as a result of Prince Philip showing that he's a brave person and a selfless person, the Energem flies over to him and bonds with him.
Yay!
It's nice.
It is nice.
He genuinely feels like he earns it.
Yes. Which is a pretty rare thing on this sort of children's television.
No one else on this show felt like they earned it.
No.
He's actually the most deserving of them.
I would say Ivan did earn it.
I mean, did he?
Yeah, because he saved the Little Prince, despite the Little
that's
Prince
fair.
being a douche.
Yeah, that's fair.
And put himself in more... Yeah, Ivan earned it.
Yeah. Everyone else just stumbled across theirs.
Koda earned it.
I don't remember how Koda got his, though.
He went off a cliff trying to save his little family member from the...
Yeah, no, with the saber-toothed tiger. But did he already have the energem?
No.
So did he... Okay.
I think... didn't he catch him on the way down or something?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
I can't remember.
That was a long time ago.
But that too, I feel like he earned it.
Okay. Still, more than half of them.
Yeah.
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 All right, so Prince Philip's all like, oh, I got one of these now. That's what that's like.
Is it morphing time?
I love that this season we're fucking around with it's morphing time.
Yeah.
We've had Tiz morphing time.
Mm.
I think Koda had like a dumb caveman morphing time. And he just turns to Shelby and says, is it morphing time? And she's like, it's fucking morphing time.
Yeah.
So he starts to fight the robot.
Sorry, he morphs, we should say.
Oh, yeah, they morph.
And unfortunately, he has a dumb-looking suit.
Really? You don't like it?
Hate it.
Why do you hate it?
I think it's not graphite. It's like a weird off-grey.
Yeah.
And then he has the weird blue bits on his arms.
I like the blue arms.
I'm not a fan. And his little studs on his head just make him look like a slightly more expensive condom.
Because he's such a stud head.
No.
I like it. I dig it.
Well, I would give you him in Fantasy Zordon, but he's getting me a lot of points, so no.
Certainly this week. He's doing pretty well for you. Yeah, so he starts fighting the robot. And he says, this new power is great, but there's nothing worse than fighting your own creation.
Yeah, there's probably worse things.
I mean, maybe that's true.
That would be true if it was like your son, maybe, but...
I haven't had enough experience fighting my own creations to be able to say that it's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Everyone else, Koda and Ivan team up and they fight spike balls.
Yeah, Koda's the only one who goes into Dino Steel.
Yep.
And there's a really cool moment where Koda and Ivan team up against, as you said, the spike balls.
Yep.
And it has a weight to it because Koda has a weapon that's more powerful than most of the other team at this point.
Yep.
And Ivan has his giant enough sword.
Yep.
So they're sort of the most prepared ones to handle the situation.
Yeah.
And Ivan sort of lets Koda lead the charge and just sort of follows and helps him out. It's really cool.
There's a nice bit where Koda like boomerangs his shield.
Oh yeah, he Captain America's his shield.
Yeah.
And then, once the shield is back, he welcomes the shield back.
He does.
It's so cute. In the middle of this fight,
Yeah.
he takes the time to make sure that his shield feels welcome again upon return.
You wouldn't want it to feel bad.
No.
He's seen what happens when gems don't think you're worthy.
Yeah.
Shit goes bad.
Yeah.
You got to be nice to that shit.
To everything.
Yeah.
Including shield.
No, this show's been really good at teaming up different combinations of the Rangers.
Absolutely.
And it's good because otherwise you could very easily just end up with, oh, this is another fight.
Yep.
But while everyone else is kind of doing, this is just another fight, we've got 3 of the Rangers doing other cool things.
Yes.
And that's enough.
Yes, absolutely.
There's one bit where Graphite Ranger ends up behind the robot, grabs the robot trying to like destroy its power pack.
Yeah.
The robot does backwards arm fight.
Yes. It's amazing.
Oh, man.
That was the point where I was like, okay, they've really earned the robot in this episode.
Yeah.
Because they're using it in genuinely clever ways.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up.
Yeah. Just a good episode.
It's so good.
Just a good episode.
This is probably my favourite Dino Charge episode.
It
so
might
far.
be. I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
So, Vivisaurs, giant
Yeah.
Vivics.
They're back. I haven't seen those in a while.
2 of them. One of them kicks the shit out of Tyler.
So, again, another moment in the episode where you're like, oh, is Tyler dead?
He goes through like maybe a dozen groups of pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just it didn't have to do that shot.
No.
But
Yeah, and it looked expensive, you know?
yeah. So Kendall calls and she says, "Look, Tyler's been hurt. We're going to need you to summon your Zord." And Prince Philip goes, "Aren't you the director of the museum?"
Yes. Another great tiny moment
Yeah.
where it's like, yeah, that would be strange to him. He doesn't know.
There's a bit at the end of the episode where he's now downstairs in the secret base
Yeah.
and chatting to Keeper. The number of things that must have... Like, he thought that he'd seen everything
Yeah.
when he saw an old prince from his country burst out of the chest of a monster, transform into a Power Ranger, fly around, do a lightning attack.
Yeah.
He thought he was like, right, Power Rangers, I'm across it.
I understand the strange things in this universe.
This week, the Dinosaur Museum director is in charge of everyone.
Yeah.
There's an actual bug-eyed ET alien downstairs, and his fighting robot gets turned evil.
And the bug-eyed ET alien downstairs is the least relevant and interesting thing in this whole situation.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you're Keeper, right, what do you keep? Not much? Okay, great. Got it.
He keeps this showdown.
Yeah. So she says to him, you just have to throw your Dino Charger.
I would feel weird about that.
Yeah.
If you've been a Power Ranger for all of 2 minutes and someone you don't really know well on your phone says, yeah, throw it away as far as you can.
I would love, because they've got like 3 charges, I'd love for him to have thrown one and thrown it wrong and it just lands in the dirt over there.
Yeah. I think they should have just gotten like, he knows Fury. One of the other monsters is like hack the communications and be like, hey, this is Keeper. I run the Power Rangers. So your Dino Charger, just throw it over to Fury. That's how you make the Zords come.
They're like bullets. You just got to throw them at the monsters. And Fury's like, right. And Fury's like, yep, all right.
Thank you.
That one.
And we're done.
So he summons his dinosaur from behind a waterfall.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I am always a fan of things coming from behind waterfalls or things being behind waterfalls that you go into to see.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good video game trope that I love.
So his is the Pachysaur, which has got like a hard spiked head and probably didn't have a ball and chain tail.
Well, see, it doesn't have a ball and chain tail. It has the spikes on its head that come off like a hat and turn into the ball and chain tail.
And then go back on like a hat at the end.
Yeah, otherwise his head would be cold. He goes through a waterfall. The water's probably chilly.
So the Pachysaur just straight up destroys the 2 Vivisaurs.
I feel bad.
It takes out one of them within seconds of arriving.
Yeah.
And then the other one happens like a brief fight later.
Yeah. It just blows them apart by smashing the ball and chain thing through it like butter.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
I guess we saw last week an even better use of the ball and chain.
Yes.
But
we'll get that again, I'm sure.
I hope that ball and chain sticks around.
Yeah.
There's something about it that I think because it's like a physical weapon.
Yes.
It feels more like a fight than we use our sword and we don't actually cut through it, but it makes a laser or whatever.
That's the thing. It's not an energy attack, which this show has a lot of.
Yeah.
It's a big, heavy thing, which is what we love so much about Thor when he just straight up drops on people.
Yep.
A big, heavy thing is much more satisfying than a pew-pew laser.
You've always said that.
I have always said that.
Yeah. So at that point I was thinking, well, I don't know for Fantasy Zordon if that's going to count as a solo defeat of the Monster of the Week because with the Vivisaur, are they a Monster of the Week? Not really. And then Prince Philip just kills his robot.
Yeah, which is not how I thought this was going to go. I thought he would save his robot. Instead, he just punches it to death.
Yeah, he can make his own ball and chain arm.
Kind of.
Without using a Dino Charger. It's just like a power that he's got.
Yeah.
And he just...
I think it's the Royal Dino Punch, I think. Or Stego Punch, I don't know.
Dino
Punch.
He just punches the robot to death.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this show?
I don't know. The only thing about this bit, unfortunately, is that he doesn't sell it in the way that Ivan does.
Yeah.
He's just got to like, Royal Dino Punch. And it's kind of a little underwhelming. But given how amazing everything else is about this episode, I am willing to look past it.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with you there.
Yeah. So his robot dies. And that's pretty much it.
I mean, I guess it's just a robot, and he can probably just buy another robot.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question that I'm trying to look up now, which is that robot from the Japanese footage?
I don't know.
Because I would not be surprised either way.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
It's not like it becomes a giant monster.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Sentai footage from there, Zord footage from there.
So it would be Zord footage.
Might be one of these. So while I'm looking that up, basically Sledge tells off Fury again. So there's no giant robot Megazord fight at all this week.
No.
That's fine.
No, you don't. We didn't need it. Like,
No.
there's so much other rad stuff in this episode.
I was kind of expecting the robot to grow giant.
Yeah.
But I'm perfectly happy for it not to have.
I am the same thing on both counts for me.
Yeah. Matt, what did Chloe get Chase as a present?
Tickets to New Zealand.
Yeah, for Christmas.
For Christmas, which is so nice.
Yeah. Matt.
Yep.
The robot is from Japan.
Perfect.
Yep.
Love it.
Great.
They're doing such a great job of utilising all the assets that they're given.
Yeah, I mean, to turn that robot into, like, a fighting robot, yeah, that makes sense. He's going to fight them.
Yeah. Every part of it makes sense.
Yeah. Which is weird for this show.
It is very weird.
Yeah. So Chloe got Chase tickets to New Zealand.
Yep.
We know that the show will be going to New Zealand in a couple of weeks. So, well, yeah, I say going to New Zealand, but sorry, we'll stop pretending it's not in New Zealand.
Yes.
So I guess that will tie into that somehow, maybe.
I feel like it has to be honest.
Yeah.
It's weird though that this is like the second New Zealand thing in as many episodes. It's kind of unrelated. It's like, I thought the band from last week would be how they ended up in New Zealand for some reason. No mention of the band, but now they're going to New Zealand for other reasons.
Do you reckon Chloe's a fan of the NZ boys?
I mean...
Who isn't, right?
No, I think if you live in New Zealand, you fucking hate them.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That would make a certain amount of sense.
Yeah.
Because they're playing on the cultural stereotypes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one in New Zealand likes them.
Yeah. So, Philip has to go and be a prince.
Fucking Philip. Does he, though? Like, what does he do?
I know, I had that same question. Yeah. Like, if Prince Harry suddenly had to spend, 12 months or so in a small town in America, I mean, we would miss him.
Someone would miss him, but...
Sure, but
he had to go serve in the military, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you just say, okay, Prince Philip is the only one we announce is actually a Power Ranger. We need him to be a Power Ranger for a bit, so you won't see him for a while. Margaret will run the show, and the country will burn.
Oh, God. But he says, look, here's, you can have my Zord and my charges, so...
You may need it at Halloween, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
He doesn't say that. That would be a little on the nose. But that makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah.
It makes enough sense. Obviously, that's the way that they get around the fact that the Japanese Graphite Ranger isn't in all of the episodes.
Yep.
And he's just, sure. And that's it.
That's it.
So that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
It was a very, very good one. As I said, probably my favourite. Actually, definitely my favourite of Dino Charge so far. It really paid off on the world building that they've been doing.
Yep.
And I enjoyed the hell out of it.
All right. Do we add the robot to the creature feature?
Yes.
Yes? I'm going to have to find his name.
Robot.
No, I'm pretty sure he had a name.
He had letters on him. Wasn't it like GBO or something?
Yeah, I think his name is GBO.
Can we call him Robot?
Yeah, if you want to call him Robot.
Yeah, I do.
So does he just go at number 1 by default?
Yeah, probably.
He's not better than Puzzler.
No, I do love Puzzler. Okay. He goes at number 2.
All right. That's a shame for all the other monsters involved in this show being upstaged by just a dude's robot.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, they're going to have to up their game, obviously.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Well, that was an easy creature feature.
I think we should drop Fury.
Not completely.
No.
Lower his position.
Yeah, because he came back, and instead of it being like the return of Fury, he just kind of fucked up again and disappeared.
Okay, does he go below Sledge?
I think yes, at this point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Sledge hasn't succeeded at anything, but he hasn't failed as many times either.
Embarrassed himself.
Yeah.
In the way that Fury did this episode, I feel.
All right, well, who else is low? Is he worse than Memorella? I quite liked Memorella.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't think he goes any...
Is he worse than Smokescreen, the farting monster?
No one is worse. Except for the few people that are. But no, he's not worse than that. I think he goes just below Sledge.
Okay, so that moves him down to number 13.
Yep.
All right. That seems like a fair position. It means Poisandra is doing better than Fury.
Yeah, which I don't... Yeah, we might have to revisit that one at some point.
Okay. Maybe if she has another failure, we can
Yeah.
look at that. All right, I guess it's time for Fantasy Zordon. And
Yes, it is.
I had a good week a couple of weeks ago, and I got absolutely demolished this week.
You sure did. You
So-
got demolished by that big wrecking ball.
So why don't I start?
Yes, please.
All right, Shelby and Chase.
Yes.
No points.
No points whatsoever.
Nothing. Jesus, guys. Letting me down. And 2 points each for the Aqua and Silver Rangers.
For not turning
do
up.
not show up.
Yep.
Matt.
Yes.
How did you go this week?
Pretty good, I'd
Okay.
say. Yeah.
All right.
So I had the Graphite Ranger on my list.
I bet that one was fun.
It was pretty fun. So he delivered the morphing call.
Yep.
He also learnt a valuable lesson about how to be a good person.
Yep.
And he also solo defeated the Monster of the Week with a big punch.
Yep.
So that was a total of 11 points.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's going to be good for everyone who had graphite.
There was also one other Ranger who got points this episode by going into a power-up mode. He was also mine. That's 2 points for Koda.
Nice.
And there's 2 points for my Purple Ranger.
Who doesn't show up.
He doesn't show up. For a total of 15 for me.
So right now,
Yep.
the optimal Fantasy Zordon team to have picked
Yep.
is the Aqua and Graphite Rangers as your auxiliary Rangers.
Yep.
And it looks like it is still Shelby and Chase, but only just.
Yep.
So anyone who's got pink, black, Aqua, Graphite, that's the top of the list.
Yep.
So, looking at the scores, it looks like they range between 230 is the lowest end of the scale.
Yep.
And the top end is 259.
Right.
So, we're actually no longer at the top and bottom of the pack now. We've moved in.
Yep.
So, you're on 239,
Bringing it back.
and I'm on 251.
Yep.
There's only 12 points in it.
Yes.
A particularly good week. I imagine we'll get the Purple Ranger before the end of the season.
If not, you're kind of boned, right?
I mean, maybe.
Oh, no, you don't have the Purple Ranger. I have
No,
the Purple
you've
Ranger.
got the Purple Ranger.
Yes, also good.
Yeah. Like, my thinking is we've seen the Purple Ranger in, like, a licensing trailer at some point. Yes. So, probably we get an appearance from a Purple Ranger. They may not permanently join the team. It might only be in the finale, whatever it is.
Yep.
I think we see the Purple Ranger.
That would be good for me.
I'm not as sure about Silver or Aqua.
Like, I'm getting less sure of this, but I really do hope they save some for next season.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any need to do them all this season.
sure. I mean, I guess it just depends on what happens in the Sentai and when it happens.
Yes, absolutely.
But, you know, if the Purple Ranger shows up this season and has a good episode like the Graphite Ranger has, these scores could even out, and it could actually be a dead heat
Yep.
for this season of Fantasy Zordon.
That would be exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Matt, where can people find us?
At our website, Michael, that's www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. If they would like to send us an interweb mail, which we do love, that's rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com.
Ooh, I've got another thing, but finish up.
Sure. I was just about to tell them about Twitter tweeting, which I love. If you love Twitter tweeting, Twitter tweet us. We're at RangerDcast on Twitter. We're also on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google+, not LinkedIn, because we're not that sort of podcast.
No.
But we do have a shop.
We do.
rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop, where you can find all sorts of great things, except pins. Those are somewhere else.
Yeah.
RangerDangerPodcast.com/shop. Right.
Yeah, it's the same place still.
So the shop is not the shop at the moment.
You can click on the shop to get to the shop.
Killing me, Michael.
Hey, you want to build the website?
All right, so what was your thing?
I was on a podcast this week.
You were on a podcast.
I was on a podcast this week. So
you're doing it right now?
No, another podcast.
2 podcasts.
I'm going to be on 3 episodes of a podcast this week.
Yeah, and they're all about Power Rangers, at least tangentially.
Yeah, so we had Matt from Super Sentai Brothers on maybe a couple of months ago now.
Yep.
Maybe 2 months.
Yep.
And that he invited us onto the podcast it was your anniversary this weekend, so you couldn't do it.
Yes.
But so I did it. So I'm on this week's episode of Super Sentai Brothers. I don't know that it will be out like right now when it drops, but I do know that it'll be out sometime within the next couple of days. We watched an episode of Jetman. Matt, Jetman is insane.
I'm looking forward to both the podcast episode and seeing some of Jetman.
Birdonic energy.
What?
Like a mirror armadillo monster. Apparently the week before, they fought a monster that was an apartment complex turned into a monster.
I'm sold. You've sold me on Jetman.
Yeah. And on top of that shit, there's a fake wedding plot. Oh no, it's a real wedding. It's like an arranged marriage plot.
Wow.
There's, Matt, Jetman.
To be honest, you had me at Birdonic Energy.
Birdonic energy is what they got all their powers from.
Oh, so it's the morphing grid, but with more birds.
Yeah, that's basically exactly what it is, yes.
Wow. It feels good to say.
Yeah.
Birdonic energy. I wish I had Birdonic energy.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
So that's Super Sentai Brothers. You can find them on Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, all the usual places. If you come there because you hear me and want to follow me there, send them an email and let them know, and then they might have us back more.
Yeah. And just generally listen to their show because it is really good.
They do a companion podcast to ours, basically.
Basically, yeah. And it's one of those things where I hear from people every now and then, these guys do a podcast, so you should check them out. And I listen and I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't mean to be a judgmental dude, but like that's not the best podcast I've heard. But as soon as I listened to Super Sentai Brothers, I was like, yeah, these guys are great. We need to talk to them. So,
yeah. Right, so no new episode of Dino Charge next week, it looks.
Yes.
But after this gap next week, it's straight on. By the way,
straight on till morning.
No new episode on Halloween.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they had a Halloween special that we watched last week. For fuck's sake, Nickelodeon, pick up your game. But it looks like after the break next week, it's straight on through to the end of the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're kind of nearly there. There's 5 episodes and a Christmas special left.
5 episodes? That's really something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have a quiet time in our lives again after this.
Well, for a couple of months, and then Dino Supercharge will start.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, it's something to look forward to.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back in 2 weeks on this podcast with No Matter How You Slice It.
I like that already.
Yeah. And we'll be back, as usual, on Saturdays with regular episodes of Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. This week's episode of Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger, we've got Tom, who's a new Tom.
Yes.
Not the same Tom as our old Tom. And we're watching an episode called Best Man for the Job. That's an incredibly complex look at student elections.
Yeah, it's the first deep dive into politics. And the first time I've had a co-worker on the podcast.
Yeah, it's multifaceted, this one.
As they always are. Yeah. We'll see you next week. But not next week, the week after. Except,
but also
next week.
This week and next, yeah. We never stop.
We're always in your ears.
Oh.
Bye, guys.